Morning. It's almost it's about 20 after 11 on Sunday morning, March 23rd, and Magnolia and I are heading out the St. Mary's Inlet, leaving Fernandina Beach, Florida. We're starting out a offshore overnight trip to South Edisto, South Carolina. The forecast is pretty good. Not much wind to start with. It'll pick up a little as the day progresses. Waves are supposed to be 1 to 2 feet offshore. We'll see about that. I don't usually luck into that too often. This will be about 130 nautical mile passage, about 21 and a half hours at 6 knots, and we should come into South Edisto Inlet sometime after 8:30 in the morning. Like to come in inlets in daylight. That's Fort Clinch in the far off distance there. There's Fort Clinch State Park is over there. It's got some nice sandy beach shorelines and an old fort. I think I'm not sure when that fort was built. Not sure how old it is. Anyway, I've done this passage before, and I believe I've done videos of it, but not coming out of the St. Mary's Inlet, I don't believe. So I thought I'd show you all that. I have come in here in the dark coming in and got beat to hell. So this is a real step up in terms of conditions. The plan is to pull into South Edisto tomorrow and anchor there and get some sleep and then probably, if everything's going to plan, go back out South Edisto Inlet and do another overnight offshore passage to Little River Inlet, which is north of North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and right at the North Carolina, South Carolina state line. So go in there and either anchor that morning behind Bird Island right at the inlet entrance, or Calabash Creek, which is just off the ICW, about a couple miles from the inlet. So that way we will have gone in about 3 days from North Florida, which is what we're leaving now, to basically the North Carolina line. So skipping all of Georgia and most of South Carolina by going offshore. And I've done Georgia and South Carolina along the ICW, and it's beautiful. There are a lot of shallow spots. There are, I guess, barrens out there, marshes, and not a lot to see. But I've done Charleston, and haven't done Savannah, but I understand even in marinas, you get beat up pretty bad by ship wakes going past. So I've always been hesitant about doing that. So anyway, the intent is to get to North Carolina by the latter part of this week. Conditions, according to the forecast, are supposed to be pretty good most of the week. So, I usually like to grab a mooring ball at Carolina Beach for a night or two, and so there's a Publix within walking distance, and you sort of walk down there and then get an Uber back. So that's and there's some decent restaurants there. There's one taco joint called Flaming Amy's that I like to stop at, and that's pretty good. And then from there we'll see. I think they're still schedule issues with the Onslow Beach Bridge at Camp Lejeune, and they're building a new bridge there, but they used to open on the hour and half hour. I think now they're only opening like 2 or 3 times a day, and from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And so we'll see how that goes. I may decide to go outside at Wrightsville Beach and come back in at Morehead City, and miss all of that. Plus there are quite a few shallow spots along there as well. And I have not done that stretch outside before, so may contemplate doing that after Carolina Beach. And so then that'll put us from Morehead City. It's a straight shot up to the Neuse River and Oriental, and I usually skip that and head from there up the Pamlico Sound to Belhaven, North Carolina, and that's a neat little town. There's some decent restaurants there, and the marinas there. One has electric golf carts that you can take to Food Lion for groceries, and the other one has a beat up old Ford rental car that you can take. So they're convenient. And then from there up the Alligator River Pungo Canal to cross Albemarle Sound, and then up the Virginia Cut to Great Bridge at Chesapeake, Virginia, and then try and get through Norfolk. And I usually try and do that on a weekend to get past the Gilmerton Bridge opening schedule. They don't open during rush hour during the week, and but now I understand the Norfolk Southern number 7 railroad bridge just south of Gilmerton is they're planning on doing maintenance between April 9th and 25th, I think. They're only going to open at certain times during the day. That bridge is always a hassle anyway, because it opens automatically for trains, and it'll open and you'll be sitting there waiting for 45 minutes and never see a train. So that one's always a pain anyway. So it's going to be even more painful. So anyway, that's the plan. Today's 23rd March, so hopefully we'll get back to Solomon's sometime in early April, first or second week of April, we'll see. But you'll notice that I'm wearing a sweatshirt and blue jeans. It's been in the 40s early in the day, the last 3 or 4 days, I guess, here, and it warms up some during the day, so I'll probably end up coming out of these and putting some shorts on. But it's not bad now. I think it's maybe 60 degrees, but it's supposed to get up to like 68 or something, so see that along this inlet they've got stone breakwaters, at least on the south side. Yeah, there's some on the north as well. A lot of small boats out there. Today's Sunday, so everybody's out fishing. All right, well, I'll probably take some more video on this passage later on and join it with this. Anyway, this is the end of Florida for this trip. Hope everyone's doing well and are able to enjoy spring so far. All right, that's all for now. Okay, it's about 4:15 Sunday afternoon now. We're about 5 3/4 hours into this passage. We've come 34.7 nautical miles, have 96.3 to go. See all the details. We've passed Brunswick, Georgia, and here is Tybee Roads. It's all the ships at anchor waiting to go in there or whatever. That's the Savannah, Georgia inlet. So we'll probably, I'm pretty sure we'll be there after dark. We'll see. Have both sails up now, but we're still motoring. I tried to kill the motor, but we were only doing about 4.3 knots, so still not much wind. It's supposed to pick up right now, showing 11 knots of wind, and later this evening, after I think 7 or 8 o'clock tonight, it's supposed to pick up to the middle teens and gusts in the low 20s. I will probably put a reef in the mainsail before it gets dark, just for safety sake. Based on how the forecasts have been going, we'll probably be blowing 30 knots. So I don't want to have to deal with that in the dark. Better to be safe than sorry. I've had the main up all day. I put it up while I was still in the St. Mary's inlet channel, because we were going directly into what breeze there was going out of there, and almost ran into a big red buoy, channel buoy, while I was up on deck getting the sail ties off the main and not paying attention. Autopilot let me down on that one. But anyway, I noticed it in time to make a crazy Ivan turn, and everything was good. But yeah, the main's been up pretty much all day, and I think it's probably added a knot or so. You know, normally I run the engine at 2700 RPMs, and right now it's 2000, and we're doing 6 or better knots of boat speed, so that's not too bad. So it's just sipping fuel right now. Normally at 26, 27 at 100 RPMs, it usually only burns about a gallon of diesel an hour anyway. So I expect it's doing even better than that now. I did run the water maker for 3 hours. The 50-gallon aft water tank, which is what I normally run off of, ran empty yesterday, so I just switched over to the starboard tank, and that's 40 gallons, I think, and then there's a 40-gallon tank on the port side as well. But so I went ahead and ran the water maker for about 3 hours while I had the engine going, and the alternator on the engine wasn't generating enough to make up for the water maker pumps. So I needed to, well, it only got down to like 79 point something % state of charge, which, yeah, with 900 amp hours of lithium batteries, that's still a lot of juice. So I would have been fine. If the wind had picked up, I would have gone ahead and just sailed instead of trying to charge the batteries back up. But once it gets dark, we'll have radar on and running lights. So we'll be using some juice out of the house bank then as well. Anyway, it's been a gorgeous day. I did come out of jeans and still have my sweatshirt on, but it's been a beautiful day. Have not been many boats out here. A few fishing boats. Passed one sailboat heading to, I guess they were heading to St. Mary's Inlet. It usually, there's one boat up ahead. Let's see who that is. Solstice. 46-foot sailboat. They're going 7.9 knots. They're trying to get somewhere. And have 52-foot sailboat doing 6.1 knots behind. Number of miles. But that's, I think these are probably, well, that's going to be a cargo ship. And Costa, where are you? All right, that's a towboat. Tug. Patriarch. Another tug. TM Vigilant. Don't know what that is. Alright, but anyway, nothing close enough that we need to worry about in the foreseeable future. Alright, well, just wanted to give you an update while it's still daylight. And so far, everything's going well. Okay, that's all for now. Well, it's a little after 10 now, and we're over halfway on our trip here. We've come 70.5 nautical miles in a little over 11 and a half hours. Got 60.8 miles to go. And we're still below the Savannah, Georgia entrance. It's Tybee Roads, and those three ships there are all big hazardous container ships or something. I checked them out on AIS earlier. Cargo hazardous cat, 892 feet, whatever cat means. And then the other two are Ever, Mode, that was 0.2 nautical miles long, cargo hazardous cat. Ever is the that's the same outfit that blocked the Suez Canal a while back. What was that? Ever something. And then Ever Fast. Another 0.2 nautical miles long ship. So I'm coming up this path right here, so hopefully, I don't know whether this guy here is coming in or what. He's moving at 9.5 knots, so hopefully he'll be well out of the way by the time we get up there. But other than that, there's basically nobody out here. I've got the radar extended out to 6 miles, 6 nautical miles, and the only thing showing on there is this buoy out here. So don't have any small craft or anything out here. Nice starry night tonight. I don't know whether this will pick him up. Still have the sails up. I put one reef in the main before it got dark. And I furled the jib about a third of the way, so it rolled up about a third of it. And the wind and the waves have picked up some, but it's not bad at this point. The wind has probably picked up enough to the point where if I shook out the reef in the main and unfurled the rest of the jib, we could probably sail at 6 knots. But if the wind continues to pick up, then I'm in trouble, because I'd have to reef or try and drop the main in the dark, and it's a pain in the hind parts to do in daylight, let alone at night. and it's probably not the safest thing in the world either. I usually have to go up around the mast to deal with some of the reefing lines and stuff. It's supposed to be single line reefing from the cockpit, but you know how that works. Anyway, but all in all, things are going fairly well. I've put some long pants back on and have a jacket over my sweatshirt. Can't complain about how it's transpiring so far. Anyway, this will probably be the last segment of this video. Once I get closer to Savannah, I'll have to be on my toes to make sure I don't get run down by some 2/10 of a mile long hazardous cargo cat, whatever that is. Okay, thanks for watching. If you haven't already done it, then subscribe and click the like button, and we'll see you next time. All for now.